Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, if I'm going to spend all the time going through all of these singles and going to the bank, getting them, sorting through them, returning them, doing it over again, you better believe that in my everyday activities, I take a quick peek at each note that I find. Now, I had recently gone to a store and made a purchase, and they gave me this note back in change. And I noticed right away that this note was crisp, and as soon as I turned my back and started walking away, I checked this and the other notes that I had, and well, look at that serial number, 31333332. Now, this note is crisp. When you find a crisp note, it's likely that the next note is also crisp and potentially consecutive. So I turned right back around into that store and I said, you just gave me this note and I was curious. Do you have a fresh pack of $5 bills? I was just wondering if the next note in the register is the next note from this strap, because that would have been 31333333. That would have been a 7 of a kind. And well, it turns out no, this was just a random bill in there. It was not out of a brand new strap of notes. But the point is, when you're checking your notes and you see something like this, don't be afraid to turn right back around and ask the cashier, hey, do you have the next note in line? Because, well, sometimes they might. And, well, what would a $5 note that has 7 of a kind be worth? Would that be worth a little more than $5? Yeah, I think so. So that would definitely be worth your time to go check out. Anyway, that's my tip for this week. Don't be afraid to go back to a cashier and double check if you get a fine from them. All right. So what do I have this week? Well, starting with a Where's George? Where's George note? I recognize this stamp. I've seen that stamp before. What I haven't seen before, though, is a Where's George on a star note. So that's something I don't find at all. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a rare star note. I will double check it. Based on the number, I don't think so. But rather than putting this one back in circulation, this one's actually going to go into my star note pile so I can search those. But yeah, a Where's George, that's a star. And by the way, good week. So yes, Where's George with a star. Then whenever I see stamps on notes, I like to pull them. I don't keep them or anything. I don't think this is worth any money, but I am amused by it. It's George Washington, of course, and it's a quote, "I grew hemp." Okay, yes, you did. Very good. Hemp is actually a really good product for things other than medicinal purposes. But well, half the country's on the right track with that now, anyway. All right. Then what else do I have here? This note. Looking at this note, I can't see it. I can't see why I pulled it. But the second that I do this and compare it to any other note, this note is soaked in baby oil. Yes, stripper note. That's what this is. Another stripper note. It makes it mildly transparent and very obvious as soon as you compare it to any other note. The lighting here isn't doing it any good. But yeah, this one is soaked in baby oil, so we know where that one's been, or maybe we don't. I did find an alternator this week, 76797874, so 7 alternating every other number. Then I've got a birthday note. This one would be the 28th of February, 1974. Yes, there are 28 days in February. And yes, when you ask somebody how many months in the year have 28 days, the answer is not one. Every month has 28 days. February only has 28 days. Anyway, February 28th, 1974. And then I found some trinaries, 0s, 2s, and 6s, 1s, 5s, and 8s, 1s, 4s, and 8s, almost a radar, 0s, 1s, and 2s, 6s, 7s, and 8s, and quads. This is quad 0s, quad 1s with a 5th, quad 5s with a 5th, and it's a trinary, 0s, 4s, and 5s, quad 5s with a 5th again, quad 6s with a 5th, quad 8s with a 5th, and some stars. 2017 star note, really nice shape. Another 2017, decent shape. 2013, oh, of course, with those 2017s, always double check, make sure that the stars are not filled in, because we're discovering those are worth something. 2013, another 2013, somebody wrote on it, so that one, if it's not rare, will be going away. Another 2013, also with writing. Another 2013, pretty rough shape on that one. Here's a 2013 B, so that's one of the New York notes, so that's potentially a duplicated note, and it's got quad 6s as well, so that's a good one. Another 2013, and another 2013. Then we get to some older notes. I don't normally pull 2006s, but this one's in really good shape, and it's from Kansas City. I don't see a whole lot of those, so I'm going to double check it against my book. Another 2006 as well. This one is from Cleveland, Ohio. Once again, I don't see a whole lot of, so I just want to compare it to the one that I already have. Then we get to the notes that I actually keep. 2001. And then we've got 1999. 1995, first shot at a web note. Not a web note. You can see it's got a location over here. Another 1995, not a web note. 1988A, this is the very first year for web notes. 88A, 93, and 95 are the years you're searching, and you're just looking for the one little plate mark on this side and no mark over here. But nope, not a web. 1988 in decent shape. And the oldest note I found this time was a 1974. So that's what I found this week. What did I pull out? Well, I managed to get another note from my top 10 wish list notes for this year. So I got to scratch that one off. What note did I get? Well, it was the easy one. I managed to pick up the Federal Reserve Bank note of Chicago. There are 12 different Federal Reserve banks, each one in 1929. You can see right here. Each one in 1929 put out notes. I've got the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100. I didn't have the 5, the easy one. I didn't have the 5. So now with this note, that completes my entire set. Now, Federal Reserve Bank notes were printed on what's called national currency plates. National currency comes in two forms, the Federal Reserve Bank notes and the national bank notes. The difference between the two, maybe what's better to point out is the similarities of the two. The similarities of the two is both were backed by actual banks. They were backed by banks having money on deposit. Okay, a Federal Reserve Bank note like this one was backed by the actual Federal Reserve Bank. This one was backed by the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. You can see G in the serial number. You can see the G here. All of that represents Chicago, just like on our regular notes do. National bank notes were backed by national banks that were given charter numbers. So there were 12 Federal Reserve banks, but there are close to 15,000 national banks. Much easier to complete the set of Federal Reserve Bank notes than it is to complete the nationals. Now on the front, this does look a little different. This is considered the brown seal notes. If you look at the back of these, they have the very familiar look of the standard small head $5 note. So from the back, if you're just thumbing through a bunch, you'd never know the difference. But it's when you see the front that you notice, yeah, there's definitely something different about these particular notes. Let's take a look at what the book has to say. Let me slide those out of the way so I don't knock everything over with the book. Here we go. All right, Federal Reserve Bank notes. You can see right there, that's the one that I've got. And if I look down to Chicago, we're talking 1850G. They printed a ton of them. This is the most popular one at 5.9 million notes. Even so, okay, 5.9 million notes. In VG8, you're talking $30 for this note. If you look at some of the lesser ones, there we go, the San Francisco note, they only printed 360,000 of those. Those go for about $400 a piece. But yeah, you're talking $30 to $40 for most of those. And I think there's a misprint with the 1850 F star note from Atlanta, because it says 24,000 were printed, and it says it's worth $25 in VG8, but it goes to 350 for 12. So I'm assuming that should be $250 for that particular note. But anyway, we're talking the Chicago at 5.9 million, $30, $40, and then as you get into the choice uncirculated, you're talking $150 to $250 for those particular ones. So I was able to score this one. I was able to check it off the list. This completes my entire national currency, or at least the Federal Reserve Bank note section of my collection. So yeah, I was kind of eager to get a hold of this. If you guys learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.